out in front. The person that's out there, and they are the leader. They're the one out front. But that may not line up with my personality. That may not line up with the way that I've been naturally made. And so often we have people that are strong influencers, but unfortunately they don't see themselves as a leader because they don't have that outgoing, gregarious, great word, okay? Check that one out. Gregarious personality, where they don't have any problem being out front, being on the stage with the microphone. So they never have equated themselves or never have felt like a strong leader. So they've always taken a back seat. So I want to dispel that illusion today. When we talk about your leadership expression, this is where we go. Again, we're talking about your natural way, the way that you have naturally been created, the way that you've been made to influence. Leadership, John Maxwell tells us that leadership is influence. Influence. Leadership is influence. So the question is here, as a worker, how do I influence? As a team builder, how do I influence? Manager, how do I influence? And a leader, how do I influence? So let's talk about the 4 different expressions of leadership, okay? First of all, we'll start with the first one, which is the obvious one, the one so many people come to the conclusion of when they think of being a leader. The first expression is to lead, okay? So the idea here is if I tell you, I want you to lead this activity, I want you to lead this group, the person that has a natural leadership expression of lead is going to see themselves, they're going to have this picture of themselves leading, and so it's going to be how they see themselves. They are going to be out front. See if this sounds natural to you, okay? Is this something you love to do? Out front with a microphone, commanding, on stage, full of vision, direction, okay? It's up to you. Let's see, some other things that could be here is going to be have the answers. Do any of those sound familiar to you? Again, when I'm saying these words, the idea is, do you love these words? Not just, I kind of like him, I'm okay with it. I can do that sometimes. But it's like when I'm saying these things on stage out front with the mic, you're going, oh, I love that. Command, yes. Here's another great word here, pioneer. It's another wonderful word for the person that has been naturally gifted or naturally wired in their leadership expression to lead, to be the one that's out front. So just really quickly, just looking at these words, do these words get your heart rate going? Is this like, oh my gosh, that's my language? Some people love these words. Other people, when they look at this, they like, okay, I just threw up in my mouth. I don't like that at all, okay? So this is the first expression, which is to lead. The second expression here is to manage. Now this person, again, same thing, same scenario, same group. I want you to lead this group. I want you to lead this effort. I want you to lead this activity. This person, the way that they will see themselves is they will come and bring order. All right? They will come and bring structure. Spreadsheets. Oh, it's like leadership porn right there, okay? Just spreadsheets. They love spreadsheets, structure, all right? Analyze. Analyze. Let's go there with a Z. Analyze. They love this. Ooh, here's another one for manager, all right? Rules. Managers love rules. Love that kind of stuff. Managers also, they love consistency. They want the same thing. Consistent. They love boundaries. Do those words kind of get your heart rate going? Do you love those words? Again, do you love those words? Not just, I kind of like them, but I mean, do you love those words? If you love these words, then the chances of you being naturally wired with a leadership expression of a manager could be very high. Other people, when they read these words, they go, yuck, shoot me in the face, this is terrible. I would rather take a needle and stick it in this little red ball right here in the corner of my eye than do this. I just hate that kind of stuff. And you guys, I've met people from across the country that are in that spot. They think of these words and they just go, oh, this would be terrible. This would be a living hell for me to have to do this. Because they are not naturally wired in this area of leading as a manager. But again, this idea of your leadership expression, when you see yourself leading, this is what you see yourself doing. First of all, we're going to get everybody in order. We're going to get everybody a uniform. We're going to put everybody in pods. We're going to do this in structure and order, and everybody's going to do this. That is the way that we influence as a manager. Let's take a look at the third expression. Our third expression here is to develop. So again, the whole idea, same group, same organization, same activity. I want you to lead this group. I want you to lead this activity. A developer, the way they are going to see the people that they are leading is they are going to say, oh, this is going to be great. We're going to get together and we're going to teach. We're going to train. We're going to do workshops. We're going to have meetings. We're going to discuss things. Personal growth. Oh, again, talk about leadership porn right here. Developers, when they think about personal development, oh my gosh, what books can we read? Let's get together. How are you doing on your growth? Personal growth. So they want to get together. They want to have people journaling and stuff like that. They want to sit down and go, so tell me how you would feel like you were doing as a leader, growing, and have you come from point A to point B. This is, again, when you're looking at this, teaching, training, workshops, seminars, videos, webinars, books, all that kind of stuff. Is that you? You get passionate when you read these words. Again, this isn't just, yeah, I kind of like them. This is like, no, I love those words. If you do, then this could naturally be your leadership expression. It's how you've been created. It's how you've been created to influence by doing this. But if all of a sudden you get put into a position of having to do this, and this is how you've been naturally wired, you can find this responsibilities to be extremely difficult for you. It's not that you're not a leader, it's just that you are out of your expression. Okay? And then finally we get to number 4. All right? And this fourth one is to care. So now, same group of people, same activity. I want you to go lead this group of people. I want you to lead this activity. Now, the caregiver, the person that has been naturally wired to express leadership or influence in the area of care, you are going to want to comfort, sympathy, and empathy. Sympathy. Make that an A. Let's just say that says sympathy, all right? Also, empathy. We don't really get together and have like discussions. What caregivers, they want to get together and share, all right? They want to talk about feelings. No, really. Tell me how you're doing, okay? They want to get into deep relationships, okay? Build those relationships. And how are you doing? They want to get into how are you doing and how are you feeling. All right. We want to listen. to others. Big emphasis on listening to others, picking up what's going on inside of their heart. What are their dreams, their goals, their aspirations? This is a caregiver. Again, this right here, the caregiver, if you get a person that is naturally wired as a manager and you tell them they have to do this, oh my gosh, this person will vomit. They will hate this, okay? So we have to know what our natural leadership expression is. So when you look at these 4 different expressions, the idea is, which one is you? Which one do you look at and go, that one is me? Now again, be careful not to look at these and go, well, I'm kind of all of them, all right? If you don't know, if you can't see one of these hopping off of the board at you, then chances are very good that as a leader, you still have some discovery, some self-discovery to experience. It's very possible that as a leader, you haven't had enough experience in each of these areas to really know what you suck at, okay? For me personally, I am naturally here to lead and to develop. That's me. I fall out of bed and I will do that all day long. It's just natural for me. I want to be the one with the microphone. I want to be out front and I want to teach you. And I learned this strong lesson when I had my very first keynote speech. As a speaker, you may know I've been traveling over the years as America's Millionaire School Teacher, but I had this, it wasn't just a seminar and a workshop and a motivational speech. This was a keynote speech. There's like 500 people, it's a dinner, and I'm there and I'm going to talk. What I do is I get up and I start teaching, and I realize, this isn't going good. It was probably the second worst experience I had as a speaker because I was trying to teach in a time when I just needed to talk. I just needed to give some stories and move on. But I am a natural teacher, and I have to be very aware of this. Everywhere I go, I tend to set up schools. Everywhere I go, when I'm thinking of curriculum or when I'm thinking of education, I put things into curriculum in different levels. Bam, 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 bam. This is the teacher coming out in me. I grew up not thinking that I was a very good manager at all, and I really resisted the manager piece. But as I started my company here, my coach, Clay Clark, taught me how to do this, and I discovered that, wow, this really is something that I can be good at. This, to care, that's the spot where I struggle. So I have to make sure that I manage my caregiving, and I schedule my caregiving. So here we go. As we finish up, what I want to do is I want you to identify one of these, maybe 2, but probably one that stands out more than the others, and I want you to identify it. For me, it was this one here and number 1 and number 3. That was what it was primarily for me. So I'm going to call these my strength. And then this manager was one that I really had to work at. But as I worked at it, I could actually improve it. So I called this my stretch. And then finally, the one that is really difficult for you, that you really struggle with, we're going to call this your struggle. Now again, as workers, what we've learned for so long as workers, well, you got to work on your weakness. You got to improve that weakness. It's what we did in school. It's what we learned in high school and in college. We have to improve your weakness, improve your weakness. But you guys, once you reach a certain age, like mid-30s, it's time to stop working on your weakness. It's time to put the weakness to the side, delegate the weakness, and now what you want to do is power forward in your strength. It will do you no good to continue after 35 years of age, to continue to work on your weakness because it's not going anywhere. Scale from 1 to 10, if you're a 2 in something, here you go. You're a 2 and you work and work and work and you double your score, you'll think, oh, I'm doing awesome. But you're still a 4. You still suck, okay? You get somebody that just falls out of bed naturally in that area, and they're going, yeah, you're still no good at this. Oh, but I've come so far. Yeah, that's great. But now it's time for you to power forward in your strength. Let's not spend any more time on trying to improve the weakness. What we're going to do is delegate the weakness, okay? So if you find yourself, wherever your strength is, that's where you want to spend disproportionate amount of your time. Now again, if you're young, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your teens, if you're in your early 30s, then you probably still need to look for different experiences so that you can really find where your strength is and where your suck is. You may need to do that. Final thing that I want to say here as we finish up, because this is huge. As you guys have probably noticed, leading and managing, these two right here are primarily focused on the task, getting things done. Whereas the developer and the caregiver, these two are primarily focused on the people. And as a result, catch this, as a result, people that are naturally wired as a developer and a caregiver will constantly be in conflict with the person that is wired to be a leader and a manager. The caregiver and developer will go, "Oh man, you don't even care about the people. You're like some robot. You just like people are just dispensable for you." And like the leader and manager go, "Yeah? Is that a bad thing? I don't get it." And oh my gosh, you're like the Death Star guy type of thing. But you just need to understand, it's not that one person is bad and one person is good. It's not that one leadership expression is good and one is bad. You need to know where yours is, and you need to know how yours fits. And you need to be aware of where your struggles are so you can begin to delegate the struggle so you can get things done. Guys, this will set you free. Hopefully there's some of you that are just going, poof. I've had people in workshops where I've done this, weeping, crying in these workshops because for the first time in their life, they have realized, oh my Lord, this is me, and I've been trying to be this. I have measured myself by this expression, but this is me. And I've been trying to get to this, but that's not me naturally. And I've just felt guilty. I felt ashamed. I've never felt like I've been able to do it. I felt like a loser. For the first time in their life, they've been set free to realize, okay, I need to delegate this. Again, for me, growing up, had a ton of vision, but very little administration. This was what really hurt our family business as I was growing up, was a ton of vision, but little administration. So we found ourselves in that frustration station for a long time, and then actually starting to slide into the funeral parlor because it just wasn't working after 30 years. It's so fun to be able to come into the family business and bring new life, bring new structure to the family business. Now we're going 47 years and pressing forward. When I came with my family's business to that kind of end of my vision, it was now time for me to turn it over to somebody else to actually run the daily management. The reason why it got boring for me was because this is what we needed, and that was not my strong point. It was my stretch. Does that make sense? Hopefully this is helpful for you as we start into this whole thing called the leadership. Okay, session 1 as we are moving into the leadership role here, how we are going to think as a leader. I promise you, there is going to be one, maybe two, of these areas that you have been naturally designed to lead. When you think of leading people, what picture do you get? Do you picture being out in front of them? Do you picture organizing and managing them? Spreadsheets, do you love all that kind of stuff? Do you picture yourself teaching and training? Do you picture yourself sitting and talking and hugging, all right? And embracing? Whatever that picture is, that will give you a wonderful indication of what your natural leadership expression is. I want to encourage you, again, if you're 35 and up, 35 years old and up, it's time for you to grab hold of your strength and run with it. And leave the weakness behind, because your weakness, you will never be able to develop your weakness. But your strength, you will be able to continue to go indefinitely. And that's where you're going to make your impact. That's where you're going to have your best influence. So this is leadership session number 1. Hopefully this has been good for you. Looking forward to our next session, session number 2, here in Winning in the Workplace with our leadership training series.